Welcome, rise in body or in spirit, and please let us sing together with the Guilford College choir. Our world is one world. That's number 134. Beautiful. You all sound beautiful, and thank you to Dr. Wendy Looker, who is the Director of Music at Eno River Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Durham, North Carolina, and also the Director of the Choral Program at Guilford College, which happens to be my alma mater. So welcome. And we have some seats in this section to my left. So there are probably more seats over here. Welcome. We are so glad you are with us. You also in the center may need to scoot in so that there are some seats available on the aisles for folks who are still coming in. As the parking lot fills up, people may walk from afar. And that's okay and good. Well, I am Reverend Taryn Strauss, Senior Minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, where we are coming together to transform lives through courageous action and soulful connection. I welcome you here into this space, and also you who are joining us online. But if you are here because you were hoping we were going to once again read from the Gospel of Taylor Swift, well, I am sorry to disappoint. It's not every Sunday. See, we draw from the sacred text of life, many sources, and today our source is life, is the world, is our global humanitarian efforts. And so we're here to learn, to experience the gifts of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, and I'll talk about that in a moment. If you are here today because you are ready to come alive for justice and joy, then I welcome you into this house of becoming, this house of belonging. We welcome you for whom English is your second, third, or other language. We welcome you who are elderly, you who are young, you who seek a connection with something beyond yourself. Call it community, call it God, call it spirit, call it universe, call it the still small voice. You who are non-binary, who are transgender, who are queer, you who are the child of an immigrant, you who are here because you have traveled from a far and distant land, we honor your journey, the journey you are still on. We believe in safe passage and safe migration for all people who seek safety, security, and full freedom. Yes, amen. So we honor and celebrate you today. What we are saying is that we are just so glad you are here this morning, that you have found your way, however you did, to this holy people in this holy hour. And I am thrilled to welcome Reverend Mary Katherine Morn as our guest preacher today. She is a longtime friend, family friend of mine, and also James and I met at Guilford College. James was, my husband James, was a proud member of the Guilford College choir. And he was on choir tour. And I have a very funny and romantic story about actually the bus, the Guilford choir bus tour, as it was leaving, and I was running after him with his shoes that he'd forgotten. And I'm not just going to tell the story. And Ed Lowe, who was the choir director, stood up and said, "Stop the bus. It is James' lover." And he got his shoes. And Cammie Rowan, who leads the classical guitar program at Guilford College, you do not realize how large you loom in our love and in our lives, Cammie. It is amazing to see you in person. So I know this is not about me, but I am so honored to share all of this with you, with my congregation. It's a very special Sunday. But let me come back to Mary Katherine Morn, who I've known since I was 12 years old. She is the executive director now of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, aka the UUSC. This is a human rights and social justice organization that is independent of the UUA, but it is the Unitarian Universalist kind of arm of global human rights and justice in the world. The UUSC works with over 50 partners in over 20 countries around the world, and they have 3 focus areas: climate justice, migration, and disaster justice. Mary Katherine has served as the president and lead executive officer of the UUSC since 2018, which is about the same time that I began here as senior minister. And in fact, you may remember her from my ordination, where she offered to me the right hand of fellowship as a part of that ordination ceremony on that day. And Mary Katherine's 30 years in faith-based ministry include many decades leading UU congregations, primarily across the South. She served as the minister in nearby Macon, Georgia, the High Street Unitarian Church for 10 years, which is where I met her when I was 12 years old. She's a dear family friend, and I'm just so thrilled that we all get to experience this Sunday together. I'm so glad you are here. And at this time, I would like to invite the members of the Ministerial Call Process Task Force to light our chalice this morning on this auspicious day. Let us say the chalice lighting words together. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace.
So I'm going to continue to invite the Ministerial Call Process Task Force to lead us in this morning's movement prayer. So I'm going to invite you to rise as you are willing and able and join us. First, we bow to honor the Spirit of life. We lift our arms and embrace the gifts of Spirit. We bring these gifts unto ourselves with gratitude and breathe and smile. We share these gifts with the world. we remember to be present, honor, embrace, gratitude, share, be present. Amen. Blessed be. At this time, we would like to invite our children 3rd grade and under to exit and join their preschool or creative play for this morning. And please note the locations for these are just down the hall on the 1st floor. And as our children recess, please take this opportunity to greet your neighbor, especially someone you have not met.
I'll sing of Typically, when people ask how you're doing, the word is fine. But I want a word that means okay and not okay. More than that, a word that means devastated and stunned with joy. I want the word that says, I feel all at once. The heart is not like a songbird. It's more like a Tuvan throat singer, able to sing both a drone and simultaneously 2 or 3 harmonics high above it. A sound, the Tuvans say, that gives the impression of wind swirling among rocks. The heart understands that swirl, how the churning of opposite feelings weaves through us like an insistent breeze, leads us wordlessly deeper into ourselves, blesses us with paradox, so we might walk more openly into this world so rife with devastation, this world so ripe with joy.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Let us put hands on our hearts and feel the heartbeats, that connection to life. Breathe in peace. Breathe out love. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love can heal this world. There is someone on your heart this morning, someone in your life who is struggling, who is grieving or lonely. Hold them in your heart. Send them loving energy. Write their name into the live chat or speak their name into this cloud of holy witnesses now. May all beings find connection. May all people find comfort. May all of us find more ways to be more loving. Spirit of life, love eternal, we rest in holy gratitude. We surrender to a mystery beyond ourselves, asking forgiveness for our mistakes, those times we have been selfish or thoughtless. Breathing in and out, we offer grace. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. Now let us calm our bodies and our minds. We breathe in peace and we exhale gently. We relax into this space that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the silence.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Good morning, UUCA. The first time I visited UUCA was in 1988. I'm so glad to be back. It's not the first time I'm back since then, as Terrence said. Who was here in 1988? It's great to see you again. A few things have changed. What a journey this congregation has been on, and I want to say how grateful I am for this opportunity to be with you, and what a wonderful experience it's been arriving and experiencing your love, your radical welcome, oh my goodness, and the vitality, that is so clearly present among you, between you, within you. It's a joy to be here. It's also just such a joy to be with Taryn, my friend and colleague Taryn, who such a great joy to watch Taryn grow into this gifted, creative minister. I'm so proud to be your colleague, and I'm so glad that you all are together here in Atlanta. And thank you for your support of UUSC. Some of you are members, and thank you. Some of you have never heard of UUSC, our Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. I can't wait to tell you more, and I hope you will be excited to be part of UUSC with us and join our journey of justice. We're going to begin with a video now that I'd like to share, which is a poem, Mate Fele Penem, by the poet Kathy Jetnil Kijner. It is both written and read by Kathy in the video. Kathy is the founder of UUSC partner Jojikum, an organization in the Marshall Islands. Jojikum means your home, and works to support the education and engagement of youth on the Marshall Islands as they face many of the devastating impacts of climate change. You may remember that the Marshall Islands were the site of extensive nuclear tests. The United Nations provided the United States access. Don't ask me how that makes sense. Provided the United States access and use of people's homes and land through trusteeship territory. 1947, over 100 nuclear tests on the Marshall Islands, causing massive displacement and ongoing harm to human and other life. In September of 2014, Kathy, the founder of Jojikum, the poet, was invited to address the opening of the UN General Assembly in New York, and she did so with this poem.
Dear Matafele Benu, you are a 7-month-old sunrise of gummy smiles. You are bald as an egg and bald as the Buddha. Your thighs that are thunder, shrieks that are lightning, so excited for bananas, hugs, and our morning walks along the lagoon. Dear Matafele Benu, I want to tell you about that lagoon, that lucid, sleepy lagoon lounging against the sunrise. Men say that one day, that lagoon will devour you. They say it will gnaw at the shoreline, chew at the roots of your breadfruit trees, gulp down rows of your seawalls, and crunch through your island's shattered bones. They say you, your daughter, and your granddaughter too, will wander rootless, with only a passport to call home. Dear Matafele Benu, don't cry. Mommy promises you, no one will come and devour you. No greedy whale of a company sharking through political seas, no backwater bullying of businesses with broken morals, no blindfolded bureaucracies gonna push this mother ocean over the edge. No one's drowning, baby. No one's moving. No one's losing their homeland. No one's gonna become a climate change refugee. Or should I say, no one else. To the Carteret Islanders of Papua New Guinea and to the Taro Islanders of Fiji, I take this moment to apologize to you. We are drawing the line here. Because baby, we are going to fight. Your mommy, daddy, boo-boo, dimma, your country, and your president too, we will all fight. And even though there are those hidden behind platinum titles who like to pretend that we don't exist, that the Marshall Islands, Tuvalu, Kiribati, Maldives, and Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, and floods of Pakistan, Algeria, and Colombia, and hurricanes, tidal waves, and earthquakes didn't exist, still, there are those who see us, hands reaching out, fists raising up, banners unfurling, megaphones booming, and we are canoes blocking coal ships. We are the radiance of solar villages. We are the rich, clean soil of the farmer's past. We are petitions blooming from teenage fingertips. We are families biking, recycling, reusing, engineers dreaming, designing, building, artists painting, dancing, writing. We are spreading the word. And there are thousands out on the street, marching with signs, hand in hand, chanting for change now. They're marching for you, baby. They're marching for us. Because we deserve to do more than just survive. We deserve to thrive. Dear Mate Filipinum, you were eyes heavy with drowsy weight. So just close those eyes, baby, and sleep in peace. Because we won't let you down. You'll see.
Matafele is 10 years old now. Her mother is still writing poetry, still leading community change, still fighting for her people, our planet, and raising her precious daughter. And I trust she still holds a bold imagination for us and for our future. She says there will be no more climate refugees. Can you imagine it? In February, I heard Professor Ruha Benjamin, a Yale professor, speak about her new book, Imagination, a Manifesto. One of the important messages of Dr. Benjamin's book is that while we celebrate imagination in some arenas of our life, we have given up on imagination in others. To help us understand the crisis of imagination our world is facing, she invited those of us who had gathered there at the bookstore in Cambridge into an exercise, and with apologies and gratitude to her, I want to invite you in to this experience of what Dr. Benjamin sees in our failing practice of imagination. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask half of the room to join me in one response and half in another response. So when I'm motion here, I would ask that you respond and mean it. Be bold. Be bold. Thank you. And when I motion here, I'm going to ask that you respond and mean it. Get real. We can build smart cars that drive themselves and keep us safer. We can educate all of our children. Artificial intelligence will open new doors of innovation. We can provide a living wage to all. We can arm and train our police and military to create safety for some. Ceasefire now. We will support life in space. There will be no more climate refugees. You hear us, right? At the Unitarian Universal Service Committee, we are blessed to be in relationship and partnership with people who practice faithful imagination and healing connection, or you might say courageous action and soulful connection. These are two fundamental principles I believe are needed as we weave a tapestry of love and action for the sake of a world that reflects our love of it and our commitment to justice and peace and love. This is a sermon about and an invitation to faithful imagination, the imagination that is needed for a world where all can thrive, where all will flourish. I am grateful for the privilege of sharing stories from the work UUSC is doing with our grassroots partners around the world. Like UUSC partners who met together 5 years ago, coming from Pacific Islands, from Bangladesh, from the coast of Louisiana, all of us meeting together in Alaska with indigenous communities from Alaska as well. And in 5 rich and joyful days together, which were funded and supported by UUSC, these indigenous climate leaders shared stories of challenge and resilience, and together they imagined strategies and solutions. I tell you, hearing the chief of the Newtok tribal community in Alaska and Mark, a veteran climate activist from Fiji, I know that it is possible to hold the devastation and the joy. This gathering of UUSC partners was the most joy-filled organizing and strategy gathering I've ever witnessed. There was music and laughter, beautiful color, the honoring of young and old, all of this in service to joy. And joy, I came to see, was the power that propelled these activists in their work for justice. One of the hopes that arose out of that gathering was to create a project to document and expose the human rights violations happening right here in the United States, faced by tribes in Louisiana and Alaska who are being displaced, who are becoming themselves climate refugees. And just last spring, in partnership with UUSC research and advocacy staff, our partners in Louisiana and Alaska welcomed the special rapporteur of the Inter-American Human Rights Council to tour the loss and damage that has already caused so much harm, the loss of livelihood, the loss of safe water, the loss of safe homes, and is threatening, putting at risk culture and tradition and identity. The report issued by the Human Rights Special Rapporteur will be used to document the challenges these communities are facing and to call on our government to stop abusing human rights in these ways. In our migrant justice work, UUSC focuses on 3 aspects of the crisis people are experiencing. First, supporting grassroots organizations working for justice, in this hemisphere in particular, working for justice so that people will not have to take the migrant journey. They will not have to leave their homes, so that it will be safe for them to stay. Secondly, also providing safety to people who are migrating. And finally, working with organizations and partners, ensuring access to asylum for those who have this human right, who should be afforded this human right. Some of the work we're doing on that last part of our strategy involves UU congregations in a program called the Congregational Accompaniment Program for Asylum Seekers. We partner with congregations who are creating communities and welcome so that asylum seekers who do not already have a sponsor in the United States will have a place to be supported, a community, while they are moving through the asylum process. We are so thrilled that our CAPAS coordinator, Jess Sapalio, will be joining you here, actually in Atlanta, on April 6th, as you will be gathering, some of you, I hope many of you will join Dot Matthews, as you gather with other people of progressive faith in this area to explore what it might mean to accompany people seeking asylum. And I hope that this will be an experience that helps bring to life the power of accompaniment as an act of justice, as an act of solidarity. Accompaniment is an image that means a great deal to me. I started, my very first church job actually was as a piano player, accompanying the hymns. And so the idea of leading from behind or beside means a lot to me. And it's one of the things I love about UUSC. that UUSC isn't seeking to be center stage, to center ourselves, but to accompany our partners as a way of leading for justice. Imagination, of course, as I've said, is another really critical part of our leadership for all of us as we hope to create justice. In 2019, at the time of the youth climate strike, you remember the youth climate strike there have been several, but in 2019, a big global climate strike, and the essayist Rebecca Solnit wrote a beautiful piece in honor of the youth climate activists that was published in the Guardian. I'm going to share just a little piece of what Solnit wrote in what feels like a love letter to the climate strikers. She said, "I want to say to all the climate strikers today, thank you so much for being unreasonable. That is, if reasonable means playing by the rules, and the rules are presumed to be guidelines for what is and is not possible, then you may be told that what you are asking for is impossible or unreasonable. They will tell you the rules are that those we see in the news and the parliaments and boardrooms hold all the power. And you must be nice to them, and perhaps they will give you crumbs or the time of day or just a door slammed in your face. They will tell you that things can only change in tiny increments by predictable means. They're wrong. Thank you for not being reasonable. Thank you for remembering your power. Thank you for being bold." Our mission at UUSC affirms the inherent, Our mission at UUSC affirms the inherent dignity and power of all people. I was surprised by learning about this adaptation that UUSC made when I joined the staff, adding this element of inherent power to our principle. It's a critical addition. Just as a lack of imagination prevents us from the work that is needed, a perception that we are powerless paralyzes us, essentially giving in to systems and governments that wish we would just get real. When we lose sight of our connections, when we fall into cynicism and despair, when we allow the perception of powerlessness to paralyze us, we are playing into the hands of the tyrants. Leaving power out also causes us to treat other people who are facing systemic oppression, as though they are their oppression, that this defines them. And defining people by the ways systems marginalize them perpetuates injustice. UUSC partners consistently and stubbornly claim their power and reject the notion that there is little we can do. 27 young adult law school students have demonstrated for many around the world the potential of people with a vision of justice and equity who know their power. Maybe you've heard their story. In their environmental classroom at the University of the South Pacific, they were given the assignment of creating a strategy, an international legal strategy for addressing climate change. They researched previous actions and campaigns and decided that what they wanted to propose was that the United Nations General Assembly vote to call on the International Court of Justice to issue an advisory opinion setting forth a framework of accountability around the climate crisis. What they realized is that there's a gap. There is no framework of accountability, no international framework of accountability for the harms that have been done, that are happening, and that we anticipate will continue happening. And so they said, we want the General Assembly to call on the court to issue an opinion that will set forth a framework of accountability. They took their proposal to the Pacific Island Forum and essentially got a nod and a congratulations. I'm guessing they got an A. But this was no idle exercise for them. By the time they were finished, they knew that they wanted nothing less than a vote of the UN General Assembly call on the court to issue this opinion and create a framework of accountability. So they formed Pacific Island Students Fighting Climate Change. UUSC was one of the first funders of the Pacific Island students. Here in a photo in just a second, you will see UUSC's Director of Advocacy, Salote Soko, with Solomon and Vishal, campaign directors. At a visit in Boston in 2022, Solomon and Vishal told UUSC's board that it was funding from UUSC that made it possible for them to attend the International Climate Conference in Scotland, and it was there that they were able to organize larger funders and really propel their campaign forward. UUSC has also supported the students by providing UN credentials and connecting the leaders with housing in New York during the intense period of their campaign. It's one of the things I love about UUSC, how as a small organization, we can make small but really important things happen. With the sponsorship of the nation of Vanuatu, the 27 students took their campaign to the world and ultimately received the support of 120 of the member nations of the General Assembly. Can you imagine? On March 29th, 2023, in the General Assembly Hall in New York, Salote and Vishal and Solomon sat together and watched as the UN General Assembly adopted by unanimous consent the student proposal. Can you imagine? Around the world, and with your support, UUSC works with partners to challenge the systems that disconnect us, the systems that allow us to turn away or to shrug helplessly and sigh, get real. In rejecting the notion that there is no other way and little we can do, feminist activists in Poland, the Pacific students, Grassroots partners in Burma, feminist farmers in Nicaragua, land and water defenders in Honduras, democracy activists in Haiti, and many others are building the new world that we are imagining together, that we are beginning to understand is a world that is possible. When you are tempted by despair, I hope you will remember Vishal and Solomon and Ineza and other UUSC partners. I hope you will remember that with them we can resist injustice, joining together for peace and justice and love. Our resistance can take many forms. We hope that you will join us as one of your practices of resistance, but I know there are powerful means of resistance happening right here in Atlanta that you are currently engaged in. People will tell you to get real, but I want to thank you in advance for being unreasonable. Your being unreasonable is what they always say when people claim their power and challenge the existing structures. When youth challenge their elders, when indigenous leaders challenge colonizers and industry and demand protection for community sources of water, when congregations challenge authorities and regulations by welcoming someone into sanctuary or accompanying an asylum seeker. In her love letter, Solnit concludes this way. You may be told that what you are asking for is impossible or unreasonable. Don't listen. Don't stop. Don't let your dreams shrink by 1 inch. Don't forget that this might be the day, this might be the pivotal year when we rewrite what is possible. May it be so.
You know, Reverend Mary Catherine talked about the big and the small, you know, those big powers that be that can make us feel small. And so much of this work is about fostering those smaller relationships to fight the larger powers. But there's a relationship that meant a lot to me that seemed small but has become something very great. How many of you remember the guest at your table boxes? They were, yes, raise your hand if you remember that. So at my dinner table, my dad's here with us also this Sunday. There he is. At my dinner table, we had every evening at dinner, the guest at your table, that 6-sided cube. And we had to bring our allowance and put some of it into the box, and that was a UU Service Committee project, and it continues now to this day. And I remember so much feeling a connection to the child. On each of the 6 sides, there was a child living in another country, living in Burma and Honduras, and one of the places where the UUSC had people there, were doing the work of empowering and freeing people. And so there was a child looking back at me as I dropped my allowance into the box, and I remember feeling connected to that child's power, the power that was in their eyes, and I remember feeling connected to my own power, to the power that I had to bring what funds I could offer to this child's life, and that maybe through that offering, through the gift that I was bringing, that they could find greater power, greater resources, safety, freedom, could stay where they are and not have to travel. I felt all of that as a child. And so I think it's no coincidence that this is now the work that I'm involved in today, which is storying the imagination, the moral imagination that allows us to be unreasonable and to fight the larger powers that might wish us to despair and advance. So we will not despair and advance. Amen? Amen. We will hold out hope that our power is great enough to make a world full of justice and freedom and love, powerful enough that all people can be safe and have their needs met wherever they are. I believe this is possible, and I believe that it begins with each of us and the offering we make to this shared dream. So in the spirit of that dream and us connecting with our power, we are sharing the plate today with the UUSC. This morning's offering will now be given and gratefully received.
to sit and dream.
All I gotta say is, go Fighting Quakers. And thank you. It's amazing to have you here. You all are awesome. Thank you so much. So please join me now in the dedication of this morning's offering. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community, we dedicate our lives, and these are offerings. Oh yes, please rise. Sorry, I'm like, something happens. Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing the final hymn, which exists.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come, build a land where siblings and sages, united by love, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and those who mourn, and we'll give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land where peace is born. Come, build a land where siblings and sages, united by love, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come, build a land where the mantles of praises resound from spirits once faith and once weak, where the oaks of righteousness stand her people. Oh, come, build the land, my people, we seek. Come, build a land where siblings and sages, united by love, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
Sorry. I want you to know Mary Katherine will be in the social hall if you have more questions for her about the UUSC.
Please help me with our benediction today. We can educate all of our children.
Be bold.
We can provide a living wage for all.
Be bold.
We can build a world where surviving is not enough, where all may thrive.
Be bold.
Go in peace and
Be bold.